If I'm ever walking alone at night, I call out the name of an imaginary dog to deter any muggers.
Davies' team.
What's the name of the dog?
Brian.
Brian.
If it's going to be a vicious dog, it would be Brian, wouldn't it? Definitely.
And do you think a would-be attacker would, from the tone that you say Brian, know that you mean a dog and not a Brian?
To me, it sounds like you'd be calling a, you know, a middle-aged civil servant to you.
Well, it's because I read an article written by Darren Brown in which he said if you're in a situation where things look like they're getting a bit choppy, if you do something unusual, the other person is so sort of freaked out by that they generally stop doing what they're doing if they're being a very...
How do you shout? Imagine I'm a terrifying would-be assassin.
You know, in your whole panel, maybe you're not the first choice for that role.
John, imagine if John was... all right, imagine Danny is a terrifying would-be assassin.
Yes.
And go for it.
Brian. You don't want to attack me now, do you?
No, that's terrifying to me. Is it just someone comes up to you at night, you know, mates ask for the time, you go, Brian, you just flip out, or is it a general mugging?
I like you, Danny.
Everyone's got their own showbiz personas, and you and Danny completely gone for different ones, haven't you?
Yeah. I think we're very similar in many ways.
I do.
We're lovers.
Danny, stay calm, please. Stay calm down.
Oh, you had to start shouting Brian.
Just say, Joe, you're playing with fire there. I'd leave it there.
I'm feeling this one.
You think it's true?
Read a Darren Brown book for a start. He's that sort of...
I believe the Darren Brown article, but the whole point of that is that you say something random that sort of puts people off their stride, whereas you're going for something specific, calling upon a dog called Brian to come to your aid. But that's immediately disprovable. The absence of Brian is immediately evident. Whereas calling upon Brian, they're going to go, Brian? Oh, there's no Brian. Fine.
My big sticking point is still, if you were trying to create the illusion that you had a dog, why you would give it a person's name.
Yeah.
Would you shout dog?
You'd shout like...
Dog. Rover or Fido.
That would be good. If he had a dog called Dog, that would... Dog!
What would you call him, John? Rambo,
well,
Tyson?
my defence is slightly different. I would wet my pants.
So, what are you thinking, David?
John.
I don't believe it.
Danny?
So I think it's true.
You think it's true?
I think he's that...
Now I have to make a decision. My gut is that it's not true.
Let's go no, then. Let's have a lie.
Let's say lie.
You're going to say lie?
Yeah.
OK. Joe, truth or lie?
It was a lie.
Yes.
Greg, your turn.
I once caused an injury to one man whilst trying to get a different man to say the word vegetables.
Please, team.
Right, just the word vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you really like the word vegetables?
Not as a general rule, no,
Okay.
but I liked it when this man said it.
Why? What was it about this man, the way he said vegetables, that was funny?
Did he have a speech impediment? Or...
No, he didn't. He was a very intense man, though, and he was also Austrian. I was with a friend once, and he was a colleague of ours, and I overheard him say vegetables, and we both found it incredibly funny.
So, can you just roughly give us an impression of how he used to say vegetables? Even just roughly?
He said it exactly like this. Yeah. Vegetables! And then we happened to be on a coach trip with him, and so we spent the whole coach trip trying to get him to say vegetables again.
So where were you? Where were you going, and how did you know
I was
him?
on a school trip. I used to be a teacher, so we were.
And he was a teacher?
Yeah, he was a teacher.
What did he teach?
He was the head of languages, and he was...
Head of languages? The head of languages used to go... Vegetables!
Imagine I'm the man. OK, I'm on the coach, I'm sat, we're driving. Off you go.
So I said...
Yeah? You're very big, aren't you?
This isn't like him at all.
You're very big, aren't you? That's it.
So I was saying things like, oh, I've been trying to keep fit lately, and I know that you're into keep fit. You know, would you recommend for a healthy diet? And he was going, well, you know, I would... you must eat a balanced diet, you must eat greens, and you must enjoy some protein in limited... I was going, yeah, but I mean, if you were to group some of those foods together... And he was going, well, I mean, yeah, you must have carbohydrates, of course, and you must have... And it was horrific. It went on for about an hour. And every time I tried to find a new angle for vegetables, his ludicrous Austrian interpretation of things led us down a dark alley. It was literally an hour in the making.
And how did you finally get him to say it?
I honestly can't remember. It came out of nowhere, and he suddenly said it, and he said it with such passion. It was... He went, oh, well, of course you must have vegetables! I started biting my hand to stop myself from laughing. And my friend who was next to me, there's a jagged piece of metal at the front of the coach, and because it was so funny, just to remind you, vegetables, of course! And my friend saw the piece of metal and pushed his knee into it on purpose to stop himself from laughing. And blood started, like, spraying out of his... Started spraying out of his knee, yeah.
Oh, this is getting elaborate, this story.
And I'll tell you another detail. We went and did the trip, which was in Paris, and then after we came all the way back... all the way back to Calais, and I said to him, you know, we put all the kids' passports in that hotel in Paris last night. Did you remember to... Because he was in charge of the trip. Did you remember to bring those? And he was standing up in front of the children on the coach, and he went, oh, Scheiße! And we had to speak to the port authorities and get permission to take the kids on without passports while he went back on his own. Can I tell you one more detail as well? We were also standing in the middle of Paris under the Eiffel Tower. We'd been there for an hour and the kids were all running around. And he came over and went, we must go, we are late for our next appointment. And I said, well, we should just make sure that all the kids are here. And he goes, yes, of course we should, yes. And he turned round and went, is everybody here? And all the kids went, yeah. And he went, well, then we will move on. Vegetables!
What are you thinking, Lee?
I think it's true.
True from John.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think lie. You are a fantastic actor, Mr. Greg Davies.
Well, so what are you going to say?
OK, what do we think, Alex?
I think you'll find I'm BAFTA nominated.
We're all BAFTA nominated.
False.
OK, we'll go lie.
You're going to say it's a lie. Greg.
Well,
Truth or lie?
it is the truth.
If ever I took a penalty, I would choose to place the ball to the left or right, depending on which of my socks was the muddiest.
David's team.
Oh, right. Alan, what's...
Well, footballers can be quite superstitious.
How did you come to that system?
It started when I was a kid. As you can imagine, those playing fields wasn't exactly Premier League pitches in those days. But every time I did it, I scored, so...
What's your strike rate on penalties?
90%.
And what's the average... how many penalties... What's the percentage of penalties that go in?
Alan, you take the questions, mate. Come on. His football,
it's quite easy, this football pundit lot. Gary, you say it.
I'd like to ask if, when your socks are very, very muddy, one foot is heavier than the other.
No, if the mud's on your boot, then it would tend to be heavier, but not the sock.
Is that something you're just interested to know?
No, it would be nice to find a sensible reason for scoring with either foot.
It's not the foot.
No, let's be clear about
it's
this.
always the same foot.
Yes. All right, David, I've got it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not different feet. It's different...
Suddenly David's become Alan Hansen.
I found something I knew. I understood.
It's the different fauna.
I understand. I didn't listen properly. I beg
No,
your
and that's
pardon.
your problem. You don't listen. So what are you going to say, David?
This sort of rings true.
Did you play football as a... I know you don't
I
play
had
it
to
now
play-
professionally,
Yeah, I
but
had to play a bit.
at school?
Yeah. I hated it completely, but I was usually sort of put vaguely in defence. So that I'd be sort of standing there coldly.
Some of the
and then
bigger
ball
boys
would go
charging down
they'd
towards
charge
you.
past me in the goal, then it goes back to the middle and you get a bit of respite.
And what time was chess club due to start?
And yet I wasn't very good at chess, so, you know...
Really?
Yes, a pathetic physical specimen, and intellectually not that creative either. You know, but thanks to the way the media selects people for prominence, here I am!
OK. So what are you going to say? Has Jermaine Jenas been telling the truth?
What do you think, Jermaine?
I think it is true.
True? Alan?
Yeah, let's say true.
True. We're going to say true.
You're going to say it's true. OK. Jermaine, truth or lie?
It's a lie.
No matter how hard I try, I can never properly pronounce the name Mick Hucknall.
David's team.
Well, you seem to pronounce it perfectly there. I mean, it's similar to Mick Hucknall, but I'm...
With an E and an R in it.
Yeah.
Well, I would pronounce Mick Hucknall as Mick Hucknall, and Mick Hucknall I pronounce as Mick Hucknall, and that's the problem.
The Simply Red singer. So who's the singer with Simply Red?
Mick Hucknall.
You can say Mick Hucknall, but not when you mean Mick Hucknall.
That's right, yeah. When I
What do
say
you have to mean in order to say Mick Hucknall?
Mick Hucknall.
Right.
And who is Mick Hucknall?
I've never met.
It's not a name one needs to say, unlike Mick Hucknall.
When I say Mick
someone called Mick
Hucknall, I
Hucknall.
mean Mick Hucknall, but I've never met a Mick Hucknall, which
But you
I would spell
there you
like
said when you say Mick
Hucknall.
Hucknall, you mean Mick Hucknall.
That's right.
But when you
It's a
say
bit
Mick Hucknall, you mean Mick Hucknall. So what you were saying then is, when you say Mick Hucknall, you mean Mick Hucknall, which means you can say Mick Hucknall to mean Mick Hucknall. So you're fine. It's a lie.
But when I say Mick Hucknall to you,
Yeah.
pronouncing it correctly, I'm imagining it is spelt like Mick Hucknall.
But in order...
Look at me.
Are there other words you get completely...
There's things like spontaneous. I know I'm not pronouncing that in the correct way.
What are you actually trying to pronounce there?
If something's a spontaneous event or spontaneous
Why
combustion.
don't you try and say spontaneous, and then you can explain to Gabby what you mean by spontaneous.
No, I'm spontaneous. Spontaneous.
Were you relieved when Simply Red disbanded and stopped releasing albums?
I was relieved, and but it's a problem as an actress when you have to sort of read scripts and you can't. So
Regularly
I have to have them
Mick
rewritten.
Hucknall.
You could concentrate on working in sort of classical theatre before, because I don't think Shakespeare mentions Mick Hucknall more than a couple of times.
A script
That's a
without
really good
his
tip.
name in it, though, is Simply Red. So what do you think, David?
What do you think?
I think it has a ring of truth. I just can't imagine you having to say Mick Hucknall that often.
What do you think, Gabby?
She says Mick Hucknall so beautifully.
I think you're through it, and it's great that you could share it tonight, but I think if only in honour of Catherine's full recovery, we have to say that it's a lie.
Oh, OK. Catherine, truth or lie?
That was, in fact, a lie.
On the advice of an optician, I often walk with one eye open and one eye shut. That way, one of my eyes is always having a rest.
Wait.
Well, it's sensible. Even if she isn't doing it, she should. I will from now on.
When you say a rest, you mean just to give your eye a rest, or because you're having problems with your eyes?
No, just to rest the eyes. So, because I don't wear glasses and I don't want to wear glasses,
Right.
so to exercise the eyes, it's good to just cover one eye. Now, I have worn a patch and just thought I look ridiculous.
But that doesn't make sense. The doctor wouldn't say to me, I don't want to end up in a wheelchair, or in that case, hop on different levels.
But don't you feel you strain your one eye that's still open?
Well, apparently not if you've got a slight stigmatism. So I didn't... Yes, I have got a slight stigmatism in my left...
Which eye is your stigmatism?
In my left eye.
I thought it was called an astigmatism.
Oh, well, then I heard it wrong.
Yeah, but you call it a sausage. The thing isn't a sausage, is it? It's sausage, a sausage. Stigmatism, astigmatism.
Is it? Have I
It's
got
astigmatism.
astigmatism?
You've got astigmatism. You've got a sausage.
No. Ben is right. Ben went to Cambridge.
It's an astigmatism.
Well, I went to Cambridge once.
Isn't...
So what? We all know where Cambridge is. Can I ask you, how long do you do each eye for?
If I'm walking out, probably only about 2 or 3 minutes. Whereas if I'm inside, do it like that when you're working.
Oh, do you cover? You actually walk along like that down the street?
I have walked along like that. As I said, I did wear a patch at one point and felt stupid.
People must be thinking you've forgotten something when you... Oh.
When did the optician give you this advice?
Probably about 8 years ago when I started to get headaches.
Maybe he was busy. Was it like 5 to 5 and he was locking up? Just put your hand over this and go away. Was it like that?
He's one of the leading, you know...
He's one of the leading...
eye specialists on Harley Street.
OK. What do you think, Lee?
I think she should have gone to Specsavers.
What's it going to be, then?
Well, I think that's the sort of thing people might do.
Now,
If
I want to know
do
what you
any
mean.
good-
Do you mean the optician might say that?
No, they have got a reputation.
If you
for
don't
those.
believe that, then it's got to be a lie. Because she's saying he said that.
No, he wouldn't have said
Then
that.
it's a lie.
It's a lie, then.
And Ben, you think it's a lie, don't you?
It's not true. I mean, apart from anything, you go to Harley Street, you're paying a lot of money, the man's going to sell you some glasses, isn't he? He's not going to say, just walk down the street.
You'll say it's a lie.
Saying it's a lie. OK, so Doon. The eyes, the optician, Harley Street. Truth or lie?
It is... lie.
I used to be in a South African boy band, but we split up after 3 of us were kicked by a horse on a video shoot.
David's team.
Why was there a horse in the video?
Because that's what you do in, like, boy band videos. You have a horse.
Sing to a horse.
Well, you don't sing to the horse. The horse is there.
Why a horse?
Because, ladies, look
Where's
at
the
me.
horse
I'm
in
on
the
a
band?
horse.
You were on the horse.
No, but that's the...
You weren't on the horse,
we
you were
can't-
next to the
we
horse.
couldn't all get on the horse because there's 4 of us.
Were any of you on the horse?
You had 4. You had one horse between 4 of you.
What was the song?
What was the song?
Yeah.
I Love You, Baby.
The song was called I Love You, Baby?
Yes.
What are the lyrics
We're not
of I
singing
Love
to
You,
the-
Baby?
Well, it's a Xhosa song, Xhosa and Zulu, so I mean, it's called I Love You, Baby. That's a translation into English.
Right. Give us a taste of it. How does it go?
What, the song?
Yes, the
You
song.
want me to sing it on...
Yes, I want you to sing it.
Well, I'll sing my part. I can't sing the whole...
Well, imagine now, I'm the horse, right? Here I am, ready?
Sing to the horse.
Sing to the horse.
Do tanda baby Giyaguthanda.
This wasn't a big band, was it?
This is my part. I'm singing my
lovely.
part. Giyaguthanda Tanda sami ngifuna wena pen Giyaguthanda ngithanda wena.
We all know it. Get with it, middle-aged man. We all know it.
I just don't get that.
So that's definitely a song.
Do you know what they call that sort of music? Clip-clop.
Can I ask
What were you called?
What was the boy band called?
Yeah.
This is weird, because, like, now I have to translate everything into English.
That's handy.
Well, it would help.
No, because it was Sparks Boys. So then... But then in English it means Sparks Boys.
Sparks Boy.
Sparks
Yes.
Boys.
I'm no wonder it took so long to translate that.
And what prompted, what provoked the horse to actually kick? Why did that happen?
Well, we don't know. Everyone was standing together, and then you're singing. Everyone's facing the camera while you're singing.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it's just a kick.
Wow.
And then.
But it got 3 band members.
What were the injuries?
Well, the one guy, Dumelo, he got kicked the hardest, so he was really hurt. So I don't know if he fractured his arm or if he broke something.
Oh, he was going to IKEA. Sorry, love, I've joined a boy band now. I've got to kick my horse. Can't make it today.
What I say is, why is it the end of the group? Just one horse accident. It's not like a horse, there was a stampede and you got killed by a load of horses. And they go, and there's just like Gary Barlow's head rolling across a field. And you go, I think that's it. I think there's no more comebacks from this. I mean...
From the horse's point of view, the horse was destined for great things. He'd started to appear in pop videos.
Yeah.
It's a disaster anyway you look at it.
Say, you start getting a reputation for, you know, lashing out in a professional context, it can be the end.
What are you going to say, David?
It's very convincing. I said it's true. I'd go true.
I'm going to go, yeah. I'm gonna
You think true?
Yeah.
I think it might be true. Let's say true.
You say true? OK, Trevor. Truth or lie?
Lie.
Last year, at a party, I shared a jacuzzi with 3 of the Eggheads.
Jerry Mitchell's team.
Which 3 Eggheads?
It was Barry. I know, right? Kevin. And Chris.
Do the Eggheads, are they only allowed in a jacuzzi for 3 minutes?
What was the party?
Well, it was all of the sort of quiz shows together. We're doing a big photo shoot, and it was us, and by us I mean Pointless. It was Eggheads, The Chase, and like 15 to 1.
How'd you get all them in?
Just out of interest, who initiated the jacuzziing?
There have been some photographs in it earlier in the evening, and then later in the evening, people were jumping in of their own accord.
Right.
What was the photo shoot for? Radio
Times, TV Times, one of those.
So with the concept for the photo was 3 Eggheads and you in a jacuzzi. what were the 15 to 1ers and the chasers doing?
We were doing all sorts of photographs, drinking champagne, jacuzzi. It was supposed to be, you know, decadence and all this kind of stuff.
The concept was decadence in the quizzing community.
I think it was champagne, chocolates, just being decadent. I think. But
chocolates in a jacuzzi.
Not in a jacuzzi.
Sort of a box of black magic bobbing. I think photographing a lot of people from different quiz shows in a ridiculously kind of opulent setting is the sort of idea that a listings at magazine might have. For example, with the last series of this, they had us sitting round a table pretending to play poker and pulling loads of faces.
Yes.
It's the kind of stunt that they do, rather than just having a normal photograph and then a note of when the programme is on, which is all you need.
I rather enjoyed the poker photo. It's a lovely opportunity to spend time with you and Lee out of this environment, but never mind if you weren't.
To be honest with you, Rob, I also had a terrible time.
It's time to make your mind up. What way are you leaning, Alan?
I don't think it's true. I can see the photo shoot, but I just can't see him in a jacuzzi.
Continuing to party at the end of a photo shoot was certainly not something we consideed, was it, Lee, at the end of the aforementioned
literally,
poker.
as he put the cap on the end of the camera like that, we were in the taxi, weren't we? Yeah. And I remember as we drove off, winding the window down and hearing, "It's my round, lads."
Yeah.
I thought, it's my round! Take your head down, he's looking!
Rob sent me the end of his anecdote in 5 long texts.
So, Jermaine, what do you think?
I'm going to say...
Is this a musical?
You say a lie. You think it's a lie?
A lie.
So you both think it's a lie?
Yeah.
We'll say lie.
You're going to say it's a lie. OK, so Richard, jacuzzis, photo shoot, truth or lie?
It is lie.
Hey!